Hi, welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. I'm the Urban Seer, your guide to love, destiny and manifesting the life you desire. And welcome to today's video, Your Questions Answered, a weekly series where I share deeper, personalised tarot readings based on the thoughtful questions submitted by this beautiful community, the Seer Circle. And even if you haven't submitted a question this week, you're still so welcome here, and you may find that someone else's reading mirrors a situation that you're going through. And if a message does resonate with you, trust that it's meant for you. Spirit has a way of guiding us exactly where we need to be. If you have submitted a question this week, timestamps are in the description so you can jump straight to your messages. And if you'd like to be featured in next week's video, you'll find the submission link down below as well. And remember, the more detail you provide, the more insightful and meaningful your reading can be. But thank you so much for being here, and let's see what Spirit wants to share today. With love, the Urban Seer. Hey Kuntry, and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your question. I'm using the colourful neon tarot deck this week, so I hope you like it. Just giving it a good shuffle as we look at your question and get into the energy. So this is a love reading, and I understand that your person has pulled back a bit, okay? And you're not sure if this because is a loss of feelings on his part, if he's scared of the depth of emotion, etc. Where is this coming from? And understandably, you don't want to hang around with this kind of in and out energy. So breaking down the question, the first card, so why did he pull back? I think it's a good place to start. So why did he pull back? Is this a permanent energy, or is this going to change? And then we'll look to the future as well. So is this permanent, Spirit? And then we look to the future for a glimpse into that. And I know you mentioned as well that you really love this style of question and answer, so I'm so glad to get that feedback. I am really loving it too, and like you say, out of a difficult situation, something good has came out of it, so that's awesome to hear. So thank you for passing that on. But let's get into it. So first part, this is why did he pull back? Knight of Wands. In true fashion, Kuntry, that in-out energy. Knight of Wands is someone who is in some ways like ruled by their emotions, has big feelings, big emotions, but hasn't quite got a handle on them. Okay, because they're a knight as well, so this can speak of some immaturity, really. It's not literal in age, etc. It can be, but it's more just in soul, in spirit, in where they're at in life, where they're at in this connection, and how much they can meet you, I guess, Kuntry, in that you feel to be in a more emotionally mature place, okay, than them. You're ready for something stable. I feel like you've done a lot of work on yourself, and you kind of know your triggers and have got a relatively good handle on them, yeah? But this Knight of Wands is very impulsive. And in essence, how that manifests is that there is that in-out energy, which is exactly what you've said that you're experiencing. Now, the feelings are real, and there are sometimes, like we say, the issue, because we're asking why has he pulled back, and it is often that the knight doesn't know how to deal with these feelings, can't handle them, is being reactive, yeah? So let's see what else comes through. So you will experience they're not going anywhere, but they'll be back. Then you may get more of that. Then they pull back, then they come forward, can be very full on, passionate, maybe expressive, and then it goes, there is that hot and cold. But let's see if this is permanent. Is there, you know, there is room for growth. Ace of Pentacles, interesting. So Ace is potential and is new beginnings as well, fresh start. So this, I feel like this connection with you is an opportunity for them to grow. I think that they understand that as well, that this is the real thing, that they've met someone who they do have real feelings for. And there is potential here for things to stabilize, because this is Pentacles, okay? So this is earth energy. So it's grounded. It's the real deal kind of energy, laying a good foundation. But the question is, I would say, I'm going to pull one more card just because I'm nosy. But the question is here, is potential enough for you, Kuntry? Do you want to put in this amount of work and effort of being from an ace and moving through, say, to get to the 10, which is the goal of being in a prosperous, stable, mature connection? Their intentions are pure, the intentions are good, but there is work to be done, okay? And yes, there is, in answer to the second half of your question, is this permanent? I would say no, there is room for growth, but it will be, you know, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort. And the Pentacles also can be quite slow, okay? It requires patience, because we're laying a real foundation, we're making real inroads and growth, building a whole new path in a way. That takes time, yeah? So just reflect on that, sit on that, of how much that you are getting back from this connection and how much that you are prepared to give to this. And Page of Swords, which is about communication. So how much as well, I mean, how much have we been able to speak about this openly? How much does your person share with you? This Page of Swords is about information, communication, kind of having it out there on the table. I know that I feel like that you have done that in the past. Is there opportunity to dig into this deeper? Because the page is at the stage where we are assessing a situation, and maybe for you to get clear about how you want to move forward, how much effort and energy you want to put into this. We need to have more. Can we have an open conversation about it? Because how honest is DJ going to be prepared? How honest is your person prepared to be with you? I think so. If they can't communicate what's going on for them, it's difficult to move forward, it's difficult to make groundwork. So that's one more aspect of that. Let's have a look, a glimpse into the future though. It's laid it out for us pretty clear here. King of Wands. Look at this. So we go from the Knight of Wands to the King of Wands. So there is a journey to be had here, which is telling me, well, there's a King of Wands in your future, Kuntry, okay? Without doubt, one way or the other, this King of Wands is coming through. Now, of course, because we've got this connection here, I do actually see, this is quite unexpected in many ways, we see this Knight of Wands, your person, being able to transition into a king. So they can do the work. This tells us this is hopeful, this is promising. This feels like an undeniable journey and connection here. So we go, yes, they can travel from the Knight of Wands to be the King of Wands, the person that you need them to be. And that's why I feel like this energy from them, like I say, is not, it's like that they are struggling with this in an honest way as well. Still ask the question of how comfortable do you feel about the time, effort and energy about putting into this. We need to look at communication as well with the Page of Swords in order to assess the situation fairly, truly, if this resonates, if that makes sense. Like, we need to get the lines of communication back open. But yeah, there we go. We end with this King of Wands, which is quite exciting actually, to say that yes, your person can journey and can mature and can grow and become a king in the future. Doesn't mean we have to say yes to this opportunity, but it is there, is possible. And they do want to do this as well. I feel like that your person is willing. So Kuntry, I hope that resonated for you. Please let me know if it did, how it did in the comments, and give me a thumbs up to support the channel. I would really appreciate that. But thank you so much for your question, and I will catch up with you soon. Much love and light. Hey Nettie, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. So let's get into it. I would just shuffle the cards, and your question is guidance for the next 3 months. So I have been doing, in general, a minimum of a 3-card spread for everyone. So what we'll do is we'll do a card for each month of the upcoming months for you and see what comes through. So Spirit, please bring through guidance for Nettie and guidance for them in the next 3 months. So month 1. So we're really just heading into June now. So July, and then we'll do August, because we're on June 3rd when I'm doing this reading, so you know. But of course it is whenever this message finds you. Okay, so first month we have the 5 of Swords, Nettie. So the 5 of Swords is a card that can speak about some kind of conflict that has been going on for you or may come up in this month, okay? And it can be about disagreements with others as well around you, and needing to make some changes with that energy surrounding you. Maybe people that don't have your best interest at heart, yeah, that have been a drain on your energy. We see this separation happening between these people, okay? And there's been some kind of battle, some kind of standoff, really, in some way. So maybe those things that have been lingering comes to a head, okay? Things where you know maybe a dynamic between you and one person, or it may be more than one person, is that there's been tensions, okay? And I feel like this will come to a head, and yeah, there is some cutting of ties, some separation that needs to happen here. Now, at the time, it will feel dramatic, like a very big deal, drama, okay? But always with the 5, I like to bring in that message that it kind of almost like, once you've made cut these ties in a way, that it will blow over quite quickly, like things will settle down, and this sense of relief that I think that you will feel from doing this. Like, maybe it feels very scary to do this, maybe it feels it's been really hard to speak out on this issue, because Swords is all about communication and speaking our truth. So there's some situation or with someone at work, with family, take whatever resonates for you, where it's like something's been on your chest that has need to be said for some time, I feel like, and then you finally manage to say it, and maybe there's an initial a bit of a blow up and disagreements, and you kind of clear the air and get get these people, create some distance with these people. But then the sense of relief that quickly comes in, and almost that feeling of, wow, I should have, could have said that a lot earlier. And I think it'll be, make it easier for, say, when you find yourself, Nettie, in the future in a similar situation. It might be easier for you to speak out and speak your truth, because kind of it takes practice, these things, yeah, for us to find our voice and for us to speak up and speak out. It can be so terrifying, but the more you do it, just like everything else, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And then we can move into where it becomes almost second nature to just be assertive and be able to speak in the moment, even what's going on for us. So let's see what comes in the second month. Whoa, we have a major arcana, so we have the Death card, which is a big transformation. So this, if you're reading this soon, you know, when it comes out tomorrow, so this will be the 4th of June, so this will be July's energy, is that there is a deeper and bigger transformation happening here with the Death card. Now the Death card talks about endings of some kind. This could maybe be a connection, no doubt, in June to some kind of catalyst of cutting ties with people, with the situation. And then it's almost like you've got the ball rolling, I feel like. And then we move into a deeper and more profound transformation with the Death card, where we leave, fully kind of leave an old way of life, an old relationship that is not serving us, an old situation that is no longer serving us, that has caused us some pain and suffering, I feel like. And then the transformation comes, there is an ending to that, and there is some kind of new era that is beginning in July. So no small feat. There is a big shift in July coming, and there is a new beginning. So with Death, the card is also, you could look at it, I like to say that with the Death card in this other deck that I have, it's a rebirth card. So something new is born when something dies, okay? There's a new life, there's a new us, there's a new beginning that begins. So some kind of significant ending. And I feel like it's connected to this began in June, with you realizing that something was no longer serving you, Nettie. Things coming to a head, that something was toxic, maybe even. Let's go to the third month. And then we end with the 3 of Wands. This would be August. This is your new beginning. This is your fresh start. The 3 of Wands is when we can look to our future and begin to plan. And the 3 of Wands is also about, can you see this person who is standing on the shoreline here? And if you can see, it might not pick up on it here with a camera, but there is just some ships here in the distance, and this is waiting for your ships to come in energy, okay? And that they are finally coming in. So this is, I think this energy has been blocking you from these ships coming in. So what is that thing that you've been waiting for? If you go very deep within, and some desire, some wish, because Wands is about our heart's desires, where our passion lies. And there's been you've cleared the path, okay? Now with this 5 of Swords energy and this Death energy, the path has been cleared finally for these ships to come in, and you've been waiting for some time on this. And then in August, the timing is right for this to happen. So hold that space, follow this path, allow these things to fall away that no longer serve you. Use your voice, use your communication to speak out, to maybe cut ties with people, places, things. Allow the deep transformation to happen, because here you will arrive. And the reward in many ways is that you've cleared the space for the ships to come in, and for that long held desire, whatever, again, I don't know, this is in many ways like a general reading, Nettie, for you. So whatever's been, if it's work, if it's making a move, if it's a relationship, you know, whatever that is, that thing that you've been holding in your heart, this is what you've cleared the path for. This is your reward. And August time is when you can expect that to happen, as long as we can like follow through with the energies here and release what is blocking you in essence. So Nettie, I hope that resonated for you. Please let me know if it did, how it did in the comments, and please do drop a like to support the channel. Thank you so much for your question, and I will catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hey Anne, welcome to your reading. Thank you once again for your detailed, beautiful question. As always, I love the depth of questions that you always ask, but let's get into it and break this down. So this is a reading for you and your person. We have had lots of big energies last time. I think almost the majority of the cards were major arcanas, which was very intense. So let's see where we're at now and break it down to the questions that we're wanting to look at this week. I know that you mentioned that your person was meditating and praying on this connection, but had a kind of negative experience in that. Some resistance. Despite kind of wanting to move forward this connection, but that experience led him to believe, and like you say, sort of solidified that Spirit didn't bless this connection, yeah? So with that in mind, like you say, to explore more deeply, first question, so what was the deeper reason or spiritual purpose behind that block that they experienced? What was Spirit trying to reveal to him? Let's see. Are they interested too? So obviously if we need, I'll break it down to 3, but if we need to bring in more, then we need to bring in more, which I'll, you also ask, how can you better understand and integrate this block rather than view it as a dead end, which I think is a great question. So just to, and then the third one is, what healing or shift is still unfolding as part of this journey right now? So just to clarify for those viewers who are watching, so for Anne, so her person, when is obviously deeply spiritual on this connection. And then when they were planning to visit you, they experienced a lot of resistance come up in them. And then this kind of confirmed to them in some ways that this, like I say, this connection wasn't blessed. So Spirit, tell us, what is the reason of kind of why that happened? Why did that surface? Interesting. Ace of Pentacles. So Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings, fresh starts, a new opportunity. I do feel like that your person has maybe interpreted this as from Spirit, when it's a kind of rising panic that came up in them because this new opportunity that Spirit was presenting to them, which I feel like we've seen in the past about this being an opportunity and a powerful connection. And Ace of Pentacles as well. So Pentacles is earth, is the element of earth and earth energy. And there's something very real about that. So it's when something that's been a dream, a fantasy, you know, of meeting a soulmate or meeting a karmic connection, and then when it actually happens, it can be quite terrifying, yeah, because of when it's really here in front of you and real. It's like then we have to take the emotional risks, then we have to, you know, kind of go for it and do everything that is really entailed in a relationship. And can you see this gateway here, which feels profound? And I'm also drawn to, you know, how in this gateway, I feel like for your person, there's a lot of, you see how there's all this shrubbery here, which I feel like it's buried almost, this transition, this having a connection with someone. There's a lot of protection and resistance built up in them actually, and it's almost like it's overgrown, yeah, that like if we think almost of what comes to mind, this like Sleeping Beauty, how a thorn bush of roses grew around her, and the knight, you know, had to cut through those thorns and bushes to get to her. And there's something almost about your person with that the same kind of resistance over the years that has grown, that they have became almost buried in that. And this is a big gateway for them and an opportunity connected here to the dreams represented by this cloud, this hand that's kind of burst out from that cloud and says, here you go, here it is. And the panic that they felt and the intense resistance, something rose up in them that really kind of panicked. I'm going to pull one more card on this. Yeah, Death card. So an opportunity for a transition here, transformation. So Death card is an ending of the old self, the death of the old self as his old life, have been single, have been, you know, wherever he's been at in his life. This is an opportunity. This came up in someone else reading just before about, in another deck, this card is known as like a rebirth. So it's the same thing. In death there is an immediate rebirth as well, because it's the birth of the new situation, a new era that they have an opportunity with you to move into. But what it would mean is letting go of their old life and their old self and their old identity to some degree here, okay? Because when we merge into a deep connection, we have to change, we have to embrace change. So that, again, because they felt that and the intensity of that, the fear, I guess, rose up, I believe. Let's see what the second card is, which is, how can you better understand and integrate this block rather than view it as a dead end? Oh, look at that, lovely. Two of Cups. The soulmate connection, the soulmate energy, the connection is still there. There is still a lot of love there. This has come from a place of I don't know how helpful this is, but it's almost like just the strength of connection has caused this, these feelings, these big feelings to rise up. Yes. This is the soulmate connection, I suppose. So it's, Spirit is kind of saying really in that respect, it isn't a dead end because the connection is still there. This is obviously you and them. It is blessed by Spirit. Like, look at that. This is the symbolism to me of Spirit, who is with these angel wings. that is standing over you. Spirit does bless this connection. How do we get past, how is that made clear to your person though, if they don't, I suppose we don't have that influence to change that viewpoint. There seems, you know, it's like getting the wrong end of the stick or the wrong perspective to see that as it was something in them, and that I see that Spirit does bless this connection. Let's ask that maybe. So how about this, Spirit, with, you know, if they are not seeing this correctly, what would bring about this change? Which I suppose is actually maybe your next question, which is what healing or shift is still unfolding as part of this journey. So I will see this card first. Page of Pentacles, interestingly, because that feels connected to that. The Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so the shift or healing is, this is your person who is assessing this pentacle. They are still looking at it. They are still thinking about it. They are still working it out. Page is all about that period of assessment. So can you see how closely they are looking at it? So when I said a change in perspective is what is needed, they are working on their perspective, which is interesting. And your question, what healing or shift, is still unfolding. So they are still, which I think is why they can't let go of you, because maybe they know deep down themselves somewhere about, they are questioning if what they experienced in that prayer, that resistance, what was that about? Was that really what I thought it was, or is this something that I need to revisit, question again, take a closer look at? You know, yes, 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 I would say to all of that. Okay, they need to revisit this, pray more. You know, that is the only answer to that question in a way, is to sit with those feelings, that resistance, and the only way to look at that deeply. I don't know if you've had this conversation, if they've fed that back to you, but if we are following a path of prayer, which I'm sure that you would understand as well, that if we have had that powerful experience and felt that intense resistance, and breathing issues, I know the experience, to go back and to sit with those feelings again and get a deeper understanding, maybe get more messages from God, Spirit, however, you know, and see what comes from that. So they need to, I would say, pray more, meditate more on this to find a way. That's what they can do on this part. Now, you can only suggest that to them. That's their own journey, but that's what I see what would need to happen. Spirit, anything more? Any final messages here? Because it is blessed, okay? It is blessed by Spirit, this union. Anything else about how this perspective shift, Spirit, that needs to happen, can come about? Anything else that Anne needs to know or do? Nine of Cups. They need to, Nine of Cups, okay, because this is about emotional fulfillment. And often with this card, okay, because we've seen this before, this is an opportunity for emotional fulfillment for them, for you, because there is a big connection here. I've got Cups here. Now, can you see how they are they're closed off to this? They have crossed arms here, because there is some of that resistance and fear. I fear really ultimately of getting hurt, of also some kind of the change that this would bring, the transformation that this would bring. There is some fear around releasing their old life. Maybe they've got a little bit too comfortable with being, you know, not sharing their life. Maybe they're set in their ways even. Tell what resonates with that. Something about the setup that they've got. They've almost got a little bit too comfortable. You've come along to shake things up, to open them up to more. Okay, with this new opportunity. So there's something that needs to happen on an emotional level as well. The practical advice is to go and pray more on it and allow the feelings and information to get downloads from spirit, messages from God to channel through, to come through more. But we also need to open up in the heart chakra space. We need to drop our defenses here. This is him, not you. We need to drop our defensiveness and allow you into these cups here that stand behind him, and he is causing a block here with his heart center that needs to be opened, to allow you to kind of share this emotional bond that you've got and to fill each other's cup. Yeah, so hopefully you can find the courage to do that. There needs to be a softening here into the heart space. So, Anne, that was your reading. I hope it resonated. Please let me know if it did, how it did in the comments. Please do give me a thumbs up to support the channel as well. But thank you so much for your question. I hope this brought you some clarity and guidance, and I will catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hi, hello, and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. I'm just going to shuffle the cards and we'll get into it. And your question is, which is very intriguing, what gifts was I born with? So let's take a look at what Spirit brings through. Very interested. So I've been pulling 3 cards as usual, minimum for each question. So how I'm going to break this question down is the gifts. What gifts were you born with? That first question there. What you need to do or focus on in order to kind of make the best of those gifts, yeah? For yourself, for the world. And then we'll take a look into the future as well to see what that would look like. What kind of changes would that bring about? Where would you find yourself if you were to embody those gifts and step into that? I mean, you might already be doing that, but we're trying to gain more info and clarity on that. So where would we be? Okay, so first question, this is, what are the gifts that you were born with? Let's see what Spirit, woof, Major Arcana. I love this. Justice. This is you. Hello, this is your powerful, powerful energy with this Justice energy, which is about fairness. It's about balancing the scales of justice here. And this tells me, hello, that you have a very strong moral compass, okay, and also have the ability. So the word always when I see the Justice card is discernment, like being able to objectively see a situation and see it clearly and break it down into kind of what's really going on. And discernment is about making kind of correct choices, the right decisions in maybe kind of complex situations. And I think you can see this for others, okay? And maybe from a very young age as well, hello, that you had this strong sense of fairness and standing up for people that were, when you could see if something wrong was going on, something unfair was going on, that you felt a strong drive to step in and speak up for these people, to right these wrongs that was going on. Maybe you've had to experience as well a lot in your life that you personally have experienced firsthand injustice, unfairness on a deep level, and this has kind of made this stronger in you, okay? So there is a deep reaction here and deep just did that deep sense of justice. This could also, I don't know if you do this in your work already, but it could be guidance for you from spirit to, if you aren't already, lean into areas of work that call for that, where if you're gifted in fairness and conflict resolution, like the law, ethics, counseling, advocacy for others, maybe this is something that you are already doing. So this is telling you that that you're in the right place, this is your kind of superpower. Hello, okay? But if not, maybe this is something that you've even had a longing to do, like what area you would be really good at this, okay? If you could be use this skill in those areas of work, like I say, helping the underdog, helping others, or in, like I say, law or counseling, however it resonates and touches for you. And this card is also about being very connected to understanding on a spiritual level karma. So this card, maybe you have felt that throughout your life as well, but the understanding of cause and effect, okay, and to read the energetic consequences of people's actions, both your own and others. So yeah, this is like really quite a hard hitting energy to come in with. Hello, and there's a lot of good that I can see that can come from this, okay? Because a lot of people don't have this strong sense of strong drive and also being good in situations like this, like we touched on conflict resolution, being able to see a situation clearly and to almost take yourself out of it, if that makes sense, like not make it personal, but being able to see a situation objectively. So what do you need to do with this? If there's anything that you aren't already doing, like I say, you might already be implementing this in your life. Another major arcana. Wow. The Magician, we need to manifest. So this is the card of manifestation. Manifest this more, okay? So there is more that you could be doing that I'm seeing to lean into this. It feels connected to maybe something that you're already trying to manifest, hello, that you know clearly that you're working towards. So continue to hold that space. Like if you were studying for, a certain job role, if you're working in your career, already on the in the process of that, because we see the Magician here, they have all the skills laid out before them, which is you have all these fantastic discernment skills and ability to see things clearly and fight for those that are in unfair situations. The Magician is able to take this dream, take this vision, and bring it into reality, bring it into the 3D. And the magician is someone who doesn't let the idea of how, or, you know, it feels too much of a stretch. It feels too, you know, it's about allowing our big dreams to really still go for them, to give them power and to find a way to make this happen. So that's your part, which you may already be doing. Hello, you may already be holding that space. You may already be manifesting. If you do manifest as well, lean into that. Be strict with your practice, you know, showing up every day to manifest how we bring this vision into the 3D, into reality, and make this happen. So this in essence is kind of like not giving up on your dream and seeing the power of you holding this vision. Is what's needed from you. You may already be doing this. Continue to do this. If you're not, then begin to do it more. And then what would the future look like if we can manifest this kind of life in a way for you, hello, where you are practicing? Look at this, would you believe it? 3 major arcana. So this is Spirit just really socking it to you, saying how powerful, what a big deal this is. Hello. The Fool card is about taking that leap of faith. So we, you know, what's that expression? And go big or go home. About taking a risk and going for it and seeing what pays off. Okay. The Fool doesn't need all their ducks to be lined up in a row before they go for it. They follow the impulse, okay, and they understand that they need to take a risk and take a calculated risk, but a risk nonetheless, and a leap of faith for their dreams to pay off in a way, to manifest your dreams. There's something about needing to take a risk here. And the Fool is like the first major arcana, so we're at 0, so it's like the beginning of a journey as well. And something about that, about learning new skills and being open to learning new things, to starting a new life, to starting all over again. Maybe it feels like that for you, and that's scary, obviously, but Spirit is encouraging you to do that. There's a lot of freedom in this card as well. The Fool is not hung up about making mistakes in a way or needing it to be perfect. The Fool just goes for it and continues to, the expression sometimes that we need to fail forward, that, you know, if we try things and it doesn't work that particular way, then the Fool would absolutely just get up and would try again. Doesn't give up on the dream because one thing didn't work out. Okay, so there's something about risk taking needed here as well, and that's where we'll end up. And yeah, but wow, there we go. That was your reading. I hope it resonated for you. Very powerful with those 3 major arcanas, so I hope that connected for you. Hello, let me know in the comments if it did, how it did, where you're at on that journey of your kind of justice with your gifts. Are you living that yet, or are we still in the process of getting there? Let me know. And pop me a like as well, just to support the channel if you enjoyed this reading. But I will catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hey Kimmie, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. It's lovely to connect with you again. I hope things have settled down for you. I know you experienced lots of challenges, and today we are looking at a new house move, which is exciting, and you're wondering if this is going to be a productive move though, for your future progress, and also want to look at any obstacles that might come up for you, so you can kind of get a head start on them and prepare yourself. Yeah, so first part of the question, so I'm going to do 3 cards minimum today for everyone. So is this going to be a productive move, Spirit, for Kimmie, for her future progress? I'm interested. Let's see. Second placement, obstacles that Kimmie may experience and needs to be aware of, for challenges that are coming up, that may come up for her. I know you've said there have been many obstacles in getting this new house, I understand already. Let's touch on that, the challenges, and then the future. So what does that hold in regards to this spirit for Kimmie? Let's see how all this ties together. Okay, so first one, is this going to be a good thing? Is this going to be productive, this move for you? The Death card, this has come up so much for people in this sort of collective energy sometimes, I think, that gathers. So a huge transformation here, Kimmie. There is I wonder if that's partly why you've been experiencing so many difficulties, because sometimes with a Death card, it almost has that kind of tower energy that I feel like, where it's a very profound shift, this move. It will signify and kind of draw a line in the sand of almost of the death of the old life, the death of the old self in many ways, and a new beginning, a new era, a new identity even for you. Take what resonates with this. But there's something very significant happening here in this move on a spiritual level, on a soul level, about a death of the old. So maybe often when that happens, when we're facing that, it's like, almost like giving birth to, the struggle of birth, of giving birth to a baby, the struggle of that to actually get this baby born. Okay, so I know that might be a bit of a strange reference, but often what I've touched on throughout when this Death card has come up today in this, I keep being reminded of this other deck, that where the Death card is called a rebirth. So we are sort of birthing this situation, and that's kind of feels like why it's been so challenging. But what I feel like in that is that this is a good thing, okay? This is like needs to happen despite it being challenging, despite it being difficult. This will be transformative in a good way, in a positive way, and this needs to happen. So maybe you have a sense of that as well. Maybe that's what's drove you to be persistent and to be dogged about this, is because you know that this is the right time for this to happen, okay? And there needs to be this change and this transformation for you, Kimmie. Okay, so second bit about, we've really kind of touched on what those challenges are about. It's because it's a big deal. It's because it's such a significant change that this will bring, maybe in ways that that you couldn't even imagine of what this would open up for you, okay? And maybe your old life, maybe old people, old energies are holding on to you, okay? They don't want you to change. They don't want you to go. Something about that as well, like they want things to stay the same. It's hard to like move these old energies and change old patterns. But tell us more about this, Spirit. The moon. Bringing up our fears and insecurities with the moon, because the path hasn't been clear. Maybe it's still not clear. We just have to keep moving forward. There is a path. Look, there is a path forward. There is a path out. Again, encouraging you. Another major arcana, reiterating again what a big deal this is. But this is you, I feel like, having to deal with, like, am I doing the right thing here, maybe? Will this happen? Fears about how is this going to happen, because, whatever this is going on, that's going on. Being kept in the dark, in a way about the situation. The path is laid out, but it's kind of dark and it's kind of scary. And these dogs represent our insecurities and fears, like howling at the moon, snapping at our ankles. Yeah, so it takes a lot of guts and courage really to without knowing, having a clear path forward, to keep moving down the dark path. Yeah, we keep moving down it even though it's kind of scary and it's dark. And our fears are really, you know, it's like when we wake up in the middle of the night, everything seems 20 times worse, doesn't it, than in the light of day. We kind of think, oh no, I can handle it, it's okay. But at like 3 a.m, if we wake up in a panic, we think, oh my goodness, like it is, everything feels terrifying. So the moon as well says we need to keep tapping into our intuition. You know, if it's dark, we can look within for guidance. So if you meditate, Kimmie, to help manage your fears, your anxieties, if you pray, if you meditate, sit with those feelings so that you can tap into that spirit is with you and that spirit is guiding you and has your back. And also be open to any messages, specific messages about ways in which we can move down this path. You know, who we can trust, who we can say yes to, what's the right thing to do in this specific situation. If we can sit for, you know, just even 15 minutes with those feelings, we can, what I call, and you've probably heard of before, downloads, which is like our intuition or messages from spirit coming through. So if we can navigate this way, where will we end up? What does the future hold? Interesting. This is you with the setbacks, the disappointments, maybe feeling rejected, dejected. There is a fourth cup here, which is the opportunity of this still to happen. So I feel like this is about not giving up here again as well. Maybe you feel like now, or have felt like, that spirit is maybe trying to tell you that you shouldn't do this, and I don't feel that's the case. There's something about getting stuck, which is understandable, but fixating slightly on the losses and the disappointments and giving that too much weight and energy. When there is a fourth cup here that is being offered to you, which is connected to your dreams and what you want, Kimmie, and you need to be able to remain open and look up to the fourth cup that will be offered to you, is being offered to you, in order to take it. And maybe there's something about, tell what resonates with this, a more specific message. Maybe it's not going to happen in the way you would ideally like it to, but it will still happen. I don't know how that would manifest in the 3D, but that's what I'm hearing. I'm going to pull one more final message. Anything else that Kimmie needs to know, please, Spirit? The difficulties, the main thing is that I feel like, yes, this is right, this needs to happen. The difficulties of why it's happening is almost partly because it is such a big deal. And there's something about old energies holding on to you. You're shaking up change by doing this. And, you know, the darker energies around us try to block us. The heavy energies don't want us to change and grow. They would have us happily stuck and buying into the disappointments and the setbacks. So you are dealing with resistant energies, Kimmie, from people around you, from just energetic kind of old heavy energies. Anything else, Spirit, for Kimmie? Okay, so this is just again about really, it's touching on the moon card, doubling down on not letting the insecurities and fears to rule you, to dominate you. The story behind this card is that this woman is blindfolded and bound in knots by her own thoughts and insecurities. And what she doesn't realize is that if she can actually take her blindfold off, she can unravel these ties and step away from these swords, which is fears, anxieties, worst case scenarios kind of thoughts. Yeah, it's a prison. When we see this card, it's a prison of our own making. So it's very hard not to give in to our insecurities and fears when we're going through something big and we're fighting against something. But yeah, focus what you can do, Kimmie, now. Do all the practical stuff, which I'm sure you are doing to make this happen. But where to put your energy in this process is managing your anxieties and finding a way to do that. So whatever you do is that walking in nature to connect with spirit that grounds you. Is it meditating? Is it prayer? Whatever it is that you do, Kimmie, that you know works for you to manage these fears and anxieties, this will really take the sting out of this process for you and give you a sense of control, and will protect you as well from those negative energies. We need to protect ourselves. But that was your reading. I hope it resonated. If it did, please let me know how in the comments. It's always lovely to get feedback, confirmation either way. And give me a thumbs up just to support the channel. But thank you so much for your question, Kimmie. And I will catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hey Chanley, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. And this week that you were asking that you would like some guidance from Spirit on how to block negative energies from, well actually sorry, let me word this right, how to protect your energy from others. So people who maybe would drain you. How do I protect my energies from being depleted? Which is a great question to ask. Lots of us do experience this, particularly if you're empathic, spiritually open, all of those things. So Spirit, please help Chanley. How can she protect her energies from being drained by others? I'm going to pull the first card and then I'll obviously pull more, but I want to see what questions come up to lead us to the next placement. So this is first just how to protect your energy, okay? Look at this. This is people trying to drain your energy here, right up, right straight off from the bat there. Conflict, okay? This talks 5 of Wands, so this talks of internal conflict and external conflict. And the 5 of Wands is a card that's often about getting involved in other people's drama. And if we've got internal conflicts going on as well, we kind of leave ourselves open to getting sucked in by other people, by others, okay? So if we're not grounded in our own energies, which I know that has come up for you before about and that you've been working on that, which is great, about staying grounded. But also there's something here about having a strong point of view and a strong voice. So being very sort of grounded and secure in your viewpoint, your alignment, like your belief system, all of this kind of stuff, like as if we can get as secure and sort of solid and strong in the, like we don't have internal conflict, then that protects us from other people and other getting sucked in or gaslighted by others, who, or even people saying, you know, this is my kind of point of view. We all have such different opinions and different viewpoints, and if we're all a jumble inside and we've got inner chaos, then that leaves you open to being sucked into other people's chaos, and allows other people, sort of energy vampires as well, to latch on to us if we've got internal chaos as well. So it's that dynamic of like a lot of people who bring a lot of chaos as well. Like, we've all met those kind of people who are always in chaos and always in drama. It's very much, you know, as I'm sure you're aware, as others are, that's like a direct reflection of what's going on inside for them as well. Like, if things look like a total whirlwind for them, of like bouncing from one situation to another, something's going on for them internally. If that's like a consistent thing, okay? Obviously, life events happen, difficult situations happen to us, but if it's that day-to-day kind of chaos, you know, that feeling, that vibe, then, and those people are generally very draining to be around as well. And it takes quite a lot of intention and energy to protect ourselves. I mean, you can actually visualize a protective bubble around you as well, of a color of your choice, Chanley, of what color resonates with you, that feels strong, that feels powerful. Or you could just choose the idea of pure light that is protecting you, that you can do every morning, a visualization, yeah, or do that throughout the day whenever you feel like you wanted to check in with that. Just imagine a protective ball of light that is around you, or, well, like I say, whatever color resonates for you. Tell us more, Spirit, on this. I'm just going to ask to get more on this and dig deeper, and then we'll do a future energies of what it could look like when you're protected, okay? So are you having disagreements, Chanley, as well? Is there arguments? This can speak about arguments, other people's drama. Are we getting overly involved in that? Do you have internal conflicts as well? Do you feel mixed up inside about what to do, where to go in life, maybe, or however that resonates for you? There we go. So we need to 10 of Wands. You're carrying other people's burdens as well. Or there is a burden that which is maybe making you feel very weary and drained. Because obviously by asking this question, Chanley, it tells me, you know, that you are feeling drained. Do you carry people's burdens on your back when it's not your... Because we can be sympathetic, we can be compassionate, we can be loving and all of these things, and still not... We need to decipher and be discerning about not carrying other people's problems on our backs, okay? Because it doesn't actually... I mean, I feel like if you are a giving person, I can relate to this strongly. It's very hard not to pick up people's burdens, okay? Almost automatically. You can be one of those people maybe who walk into a room, if there are bad vibes, if there are heavy energies, and people aren't being accountable and holding on to those, their energy and what they're responsible for, then it's very hard, if you're an open person, empathic person, a certain kind of soul that comes in that is a giving, loving, helpful soul. It's very hard not to just pick up those energies and those burdens automatically, put them on your back, and just kind of and then you realize, oh, hang on, I'm feeling really tired, I'm feeling really exhausted, what's going on? Oh, you're just carrying everyone's burdens in this entire room. And that this can go on with family, maybe that's going on for you. going on for friends, something to be very mindful about you as a person. It's a loving quality, and it's not something to be, I'm not saying it's bad. It's like amazing. We need more people in the world who are loving, giving, kind. But we also can't, it doesn't help the person whose burdens belong to them. Yeah, it doesn't help them. It doesn't help us for us to carry them. So we need to get quite strict and mindful about, we can be, like I say, we can be loving, we can be compassionate, but let's not carry those burdens. So we need to release some burdens here. I feel like you are carrying people's energy, channeling people's problems that you can't do anything about. They need to be accountable, and they're the ones that can make the change. So watch that as well. Yeah, what can you put down that isn't yours? It means we can, like I say, we can still be loving, we can still be compassionate, but don't pick it up. Future energies, what will it mean to protect your energy? What will it open up for you? What will it bring for you if we can do this, channeling? It means that maybe you feel anxious, maybe you get a lot of anxiety. Channeling this card, this is Eight of Swords, this is about our thoughts, and this is about a card, this is a prison of our own making. What it would mean is that we could free ourselves from this, from the worry, and have more peace, in essence, really, because this woman is blindfolded, she's tied in knots, she is in, but what she doesn't realize, the story behind this, is that she can actually take off this blindfold, she can unravel this bind here and step away from this wall of swords. Swords representing fears, anxieties, worst case scenarios. So maybe you're carrying, obviously if we're carrying a lot of people's burdens and a lot of people's energy, you can imagine what that would do to our minds, okay, and our souls. It would, there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear there that we're probably carrying as well. And maybe it's about, you feel like you're looking after these problems, people's problems, and you're going to sort them and resolve them, but it's too much for, you know, it's not meant for you, it's too much for one person to carry. So it would mean that you would feel less anxious, if you do feel anxious quite a lot of the time, if you are a worrier, if that occupies a lot of your thinking, there's some kind of prison of your own making happening here as well, which is tricky to recognize, you know, as an empath, as a giver. But it's about boundaries, really, isn't it, as well? And for your own health, for your own mind, for your own spirit, we need to free ourselves, free yourself, channeling. So that was your reading. I hope it resonated. Please let me know if it did, how it did in the comments. And please do give this a thumbs up to support the channel. But thank you so much, Channeling, for your question and for that good energy that you always bring to the channel. It's so appreciated. I will catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hey Dany, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your question. So we're looking at a love reading today. So Roger's current feelings towards you. I understand you're currently in no contact, but there is some communication in some ways coming through, where he's been liking your stories on Instagram. So he's keeping an eye on you, yeah? So let's see what's going on. And you're wondering if he misses what we had. Let's have a look at Roger's current feeling, Spirit, please, towards Dany. I'm going to see where I'll obviously pull more cards. I normally do around 3 cards for each person with this, but we'll see what questions, next question this brings up. But the first one is Roger's feelings, okay? 4 of Swords. I always see this card as kind of like, if you think of those freeze, what's it, flight, freeze, fight, you know what I mean? This is like freeze mode. This is like analysis paralysis kind of energy that Roger is in. Okay, these swords represent our thoughts. It can represent our fears as well when we see swords energy. And there's such a stillness about this card as well that it always makes me think this person is kind of stuck as well and frozen, not sure how to move forward. Okay, so they are thinking of you. They are worried about this situation in a way, about it's on their mind and it's bothering them. I feel like this window here, this stained glass, is like them kind of thinking of you, fantasizing of you, thinking about the past, thinking about a way forward. Maybe them almost like looking in like you know, a window to watching, keeping an eye on you with those Instagram stories, or checking in on you, still wanting to know where you're at. Have you moved on? Getting a sense of the situation, but they're so stuck. So what comes after this? What will this change? That's what the next question is. Will this shift? They don't know. They're in their head about this and they don't know how to move forward, is what I feel. So what's their next actions? That would be a good question. The World. Okay, this is good. The World talks about cycles. Okay, so this will break. This is a major arcana as well. So there is an opportunity here for a new cycle, a new beginning here, Dany. Okay, so an end of what was, which is kind of where you're at now, the difficulty that you've experienced, this freeze that Roger is in. The World card is when, you know, the world keeps spinning and everything is nature, you know, happens in cycles. So if we think of the seasons, etc., how, you know, new beginnings, the summer, autumn, there is some kind of death and change and ending, and then we start again. So this to me denotes and speaks about a new cycle for you and Roger. Okay. So let's have a look into the future. The world's happened, the change has come, a new cycle has begun. So we will snap out of this. This will shift. We don't know how. It's not gonna, you know, that doesn't really matter. What you need to know is that it will happen. You don't have to, obviously, if you may want to reconnect with him, Dany, but let's see what they would come forward through with, okay? Is it a cycle? Because this new opportunity, it will be presented to you. But I always say it doesn't mean that you have to take it, okay? Just because we're given an opportunity. This may not be something that you want to revisit. But this is just telling us what comes next, okay? But then obviously free will, what your feelings are around this, the history. Obviously, I don't know what's gone on between you, which brought you to this no contact in detail. So only you and Roger know that. So how does your heart, how does your soul feel about this? You know, do you want to go in for another cycle, another round with this person? The opportunity will come, but it doesn't mean that we always, you know, it doesn't mean that we have to take it. Let's have a final message though. Yeah, Ace of Swords. That's the new beginning. again, so the new cycle. Ace of Swords, what I would say is with this Ace of Swords, with if you take this up, when this opportunity comes back round for you, so when Roger reaches out, when you reconnect, which is what I predict, the Ace of Swords is about getting very clear. So we've got swords happening twice here. So this is about communication. This is about getting clarity so that we don't repeat what's happened. What went wrong in the past was the issues around communication. The swords is also about truth. So speak clearly, speak your truth about your hurts, about what you want this time round. Get very clear and get clear communication, you know, if you can, from them about what's gone on. Okay, don't just bury it and try to move on and pretend that nothing happened, things like that. I'm not saying that you would, but this is just spirit saying, let's start off as we mean to go on. Okay, maybe a difficult conversation needs to happen as well. Maybe some harsh truths need to be said, but let's say them at the beginning and not let them fester, build of resentment, you know, because you're not going to escape them. So let's put them out in the open at the beginning, and then see if we survive that in a way, see if what's left after we've had it out and spoken our truth. Okay, so be quite almost brutal. This is with the Ace of Swords. Don't hold back, Dany, when we have this new beginning. Say it at the start and then see where that leaves you. Okay, but I feel like it's imperative that you speak your truth at this time. Interesting read. I hope it resonated for you. Let me know if it did, how it did, if in the comments, and please do give me a thumbs up to support the channel. But thank you for your question, and I will catch up with you again soon. Love and light. Hi Rose, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your question. So let's get into it. I'm just going to shuffle the cards, and this is a love reading for you, Rose. And your question is, will my boyfriend and I stay together and work things out, or are things going to end? So I don't do yes no questions, but I can certainly look at the energy around this, get some insight and guidance for you, and get an idea of what's coming. Okay, so first off, I'll do around a 3-card minimum spread for everyone with these readings. Pull more cards if I need more clarity. But we'll start off with the first card, which is, let's get an overall energy read on you and this connection, okay, Rose, with your boyfriend. You're obviously going through something, I'm assuming, of why you're asking these things, and that you've got fears about it ending. So let's just get a read. Oh, there we go. 9 of Cups. Okay, so 9 of Cups talks about emotional fulfillment and satisfaction. So there is a lot of potential here for emotional contentment, emotional fulfillment. Maybe you've already got a lot of that out of this connection. But often with this card, what I see that we can see with this is your boyfriend's energy, okay? There is a block here with these folded arms. And what it can talk about is that there's something that is, there's almost a rigidness about their energy, some kind of block about maybe completely letting you in. Maybe you're feeling that. Maybe you've experienced that. There's something that can almost be selfish and about their putting their needs first and about their satisfaction and their contentment being put first, because they're really, it comes from a place of fear and poverty consciousness in some ways, that if they kind of give of their whole self, that they will, that as if you're trying to take something from them, as if they'll lose something. But really, by opening your heart fully with, you know, a trust, with a trusted loved one, say like yourself, about giving and receiving equally. That's kind of where we get the most out of the relationship, and that's where you would move to the 10 of Cups, which comes next. So I want to know more about this block. Maybe you're feeling that. Maybe that's what worries you, is that you can feel that maybe you see that selfishness in them if it manifests in that way, or it could be that it manifests that they are shut down somewhere, won't open up. It's ultimately, it's like I say, a fear of getting hurt, of getting taken advantage of, which will probably come from this person's past. Tell me more, Spirit, about how to kind of move beyond this energy, yeah? If we can. What can Rose do? The Moon card, Major Arcana, is about, this is a double message, I think, for both of you, about there's insecurities that have come up here about managing fears, anxieties. Maybe you sense this block. This is what's making you think if things are going to end. And the question is, I suppose, first, are you getting enough from this person? Are you getting enough emotional support yourself? I don't see them going anywhere. They're very kind of rooted in their spot, in where they are. But are you getting enough out of this relationship, enough connection, enough love? If you are, that's okay, that's good. That's this is about managing our anxieties and our fears, because always with relationships there's an element of the unknown, okay, of what the future can hold. In some ways, I suppose that you could say that almost about anything. There is a path here that is laid out for you, but it's maybe there is some element of it that is still a mystery to you, that is, it feels almost like that the future is in the dark to you. There is something about this connection that is making you feel insecure. And I think it's about, like I said, maybe that you're picking up on, and maybe that you're feeling that your person, your boyfriend, is closed off in some way. I don't see like a third party situation. I don't see them leaving you, but I do see that they are not fully open and giving. And that, I think, is what is bringing up these insecurities for you. So, first question, let's ask ourselves, are we getting enough out of this? If we want to stay and work on this, then we need to manage our insecurities and understand that this is the them problem, not an us problem. It's not about that they don't love you. It's not about that they don't have strong feelings for you. They do, because we've got all these 9 cups here. But their issues, if you want to put it that way, this closed offness is a them problem. So you need to find a way to not take that on and not see that as a reflection of you. What does the future hold, please, Spirit, with this connection, bearing in mind what we know already? Yeah, so there we go, managing our anxieties and our fears. This is about, this card has come up a few times actually today. The 8 of Swords is this, the story behind this is that this woman, she's blindfolded, she's bound here. All these swords represent insecurities, fears, maybe not feeling good enough. What worst case scenarios, you go into that place of that this is going to end, and sort of living in that reality, which is very stressful and horrible if you are. Now, this situation with this woman is that she doesn't know, or if she can look inside herself, she can actually take this blindfold off. She can unravel these binds and step away from this. This is a self-imposed prison. And that's understand. So what I feel like is if you're going to stay in this connection, then we need to manage our fears and anxieties and not live in that place almost expecting it to end all the time. We need to be in the present and find ways to manage our fears and anxiety. So I don't know how you do that. If you do that, you can do that through many ways: meditation, prayer, walking in nature, regulating our nervous system, going to the gym, whatever it is that you do that works for you. But by staying in this insecure energy, we're just going to keep circling that drain in a way. And somehow it's like it's an illusion. It's not seeing the situation clearly. I don't see this boyfriend going anywhere. But are they, through the barriers that they've got up, are they making you feel insecure like this, not good enough, not secure? So is this something that, are they giving you enough? Can we have a conversation with them about this if that resonates for you? Can you talk to them? Have we tried to sort of work past this? If that's not possible, if that doesn't feel possible, then the main focus is about really managing our fears and anxieties and not letting our mind get the better of us and making us kind of go crazy and stay in that fear-based place if you decide to stay. But if this person isn't giving you enough, if they're triggering this fear, then maybe this isn't good for you, this connection. So check in with yourself. Or is it that your fears and insecurities about losing this person are just getting the better of you? And then ultimately what we're doing is we are pushing that person away. If we're always worried that they're going to go and leave us, and that's our stuff, that's on us, then, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy in some ways. So that's where your focus should be, Rose, but also ask your question of what you're getting back from your boyfriend, and is that triggering you into this fearful place? Let me know if this resonated, how it resonated. Hopefully gave you some insight and guidance and a path forward with this. But thank you so much. Leave it in the comments below. Let me know how it resonated. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up just to support the channel. And I will catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hello Eco7 and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. So let's get into it. And I know we're having a look at your artwork, which is great, lovely to look at this energy and the future energies of what artwork specifically that you should be sharing and the energy around that, which is interesting. So what's the future energy if you include your original artwork and prints? Or you're asking, is it better to exclude your hand-drawn original work and focus only on digital prints? So let's have a look at, I'm going to pull 2 cards first, and I'll pull another just to, if we've got further questions, further messages from Spirit. But Spirit, please comment on what's the future of including the original artwork and prints for Eco7, please. And then let's pull the energy of if you were to just focus fully on the digital prints. Let's see where that leaves us. Okay, so this is if you were to include your original artwork prints. 3 of Pentacles. Nice. I am going to have a look at this now. Just the digital. 3 of Pentacles, okay, is about... Interestingly, this is about a card work, of teamwork, of collaboration. Look, this is you. This is actually, I feel like this is the customer base who are kind of showing you what they want. And this is you being the craftsperson doing the work. And it feels like this is vibing well. Okay, this is resonating with your audience, the original prince. Maybe it's because you're able to I don't know if this is particularly right with how you work, but if it's able to be sort of more customized, or they're saying anyway, kind of this is what works for us, this is what we like, and you're going, okay, yeah, I understand that, this is great, I can give you more of that. So there's some collaboration and energy about being able to have the same goal in mind. It will bring you what I think is closer to your audience, closer to your customer base and community. It's a bit like how it makes me think of these personalized tarot readings that I'm able to do now. This new weekly session has brought me closer to my community and to my viewers, and we can go deeper. And I feel like that's something that it will strengthen the bond. Okay, because then we look at, if you were to just focus on digital prints, this has a much more stagnant energy. So we have Four of Swords, which is about, it's a very still energy here. And it almost keeps, this feels like your customer base here, almost more at a distance. So it keeps them almost more at arm's length. So I hope this resonates for you. There is something that I just want to throw out there though as well, because this is also a card of rest and about taking time out. So maybe this is mindful about is there some flexibility around, like this might take a lot more work. And then this is maybe for, I don't want you to get burned out, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. This is maybe focus on digital prints. Is that easier to produce? Does this allow you to have some rest and have a break when needed? Take what resonates with this. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of how you work. Take or leave that message if that resonates. Is there some flexibility about that you can do these original artworks when the energy's there, you know, when you feel up to it? And then maybe as a kind of if you ever need to take your foot off the gas and you're being pulled in different directions in life, maybe it's okay to just do digital prints then, if that's how it works. I don't know, obviously maybe the digital, but this is what, you know, just passing the messages on from Spirit. But overall, from these, I would say Spirit is encouraging you to include the original artwork in prints, because it's going to bring you closer to your customer base and audience. Build this strong relationship, because it's always about building that brand, building that connection and being true to yourself. And it's got that good live energy from it, if that makes sense. That kind of, it feels very alive. Ooh. Let's pull one more card. Any final messages for Eco 7 on this, please, Spirit? Ooh, look at this. This is you being the Hierophant. I see with this Hierophant, okay, the Hierophant has a leader kind of quality, okay, has this setting the tone, almost like making your own rules as well. So maybe that's the final message as well, that it's like nothing has to be set in stone, and like we can experiment. Like you're the Hierophant, okay, this is your project, this is your show. So we can decide that, okay, this is the rules for now. But allow room, don't lock yourself into anything, okay? That I really do, what came through, the main message when I saw this card was that, like, you're you're the star of the show with this, okay? Like you're this person, like even though it looks like a sort of religious figure, it feels like because of all the neon here that I'm so drawn to, it's like you're the rock star of this show, okay? Of this performance. People are coming to see you and you can make the rules, okay? So creative freedom, creative liberation. So let's set out and start this if that feels right, and go to what excites you, goes to what makes you feel alive. So if an idea of doing something on the website like speaks to you, follow that energy, because that's what will probably resonate with your customers as well. So it's kind of bringing that back to you about doing what you want, and that will, what you really want to do and do more of, is probably what will resonate with your customer and your clientele. And when we get into what stuff, if we can check in when we're doing it, what makes us feel heavy and feel like hard work. Obviously there's always the kind of admin and the T's and C's about, there's always going to be that element about, you know, we need to be consistent and we need to show up and be and work hard in a way. I don't want to put too much emphasis on. I don't like to say that things have to be hard work or reinstate that statement, okay? But there is something about being consistent, yeah, and putting our energy out there. But what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel inspired, that's the energy that we need to follow. This is your customers, this is your clientele looking to you to tell them how it's going to be, and they'll follow where you lead, is what I feel like there, Eco 7. So I hope that resonates. You can make the rules, you can break the rules. And that was your reading. So let me know if it resonated for you, how it resonated. If it did, please let me know in the comments. Please give me a thumbs up to support the channel. But thank you so much for your question, and I will catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hey Lola, and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. So this is a love reading for you, and we are looking at your person's current feelings and also next actions that you are looking for. I understand that there is like a third party situation here as well that is affecting the energies around this. But you're curious if you and your person have a serious future together. So first part of the question, their current feelings, then we'll do next actions, and then we'll look to the future. So let's lay out the placements like that and see what comes through for you, Lola. So Spirit, please tell us about Lola's, whoa, look at that. A lot of feelings maybe. I always think when the cards, you know, the cards start speaking straight away. There we go. I'm going to take that. The card. Whoa. No, too many, Spirit. Okay. Current feelings towards you. Likely next actions from them. And then the future. So, you know, I don't do yes, no questions, but let's see the energy around, you know, if there's a potential for a serious connection here, future together. Okay, first placement, their current feelings for you. Ah, it's funny, we just had this card in the last reading. There's a lot of similar energies coming up through this. They want to work it out. They want to work it through. With the Three of Pentacles, it's always about, I've seen this so much in this energy between you, Joey and Lola, about their feelings for you, still having good feelings when they think of you, still having good intentions, okay? And the Three of Pentacles is about teamwork, wanting to, having the same goal in mind, in some ways about wanting to reconcile here. Interestingly though, there is a 3, so this tells me as well that this person is the third party, is still in the situation, is still affecting this dynamic. That's confirmation for me with it being a 3 when you say you're not sure if they're still in the picture. This tells me that they are, that's affecting, this has always been affecting this dynamic and still is. So that's needs to be sorted out, needs to be freed, needs to be resolved before anything can happen with you and your person, okay, Lola? But nonetheless, despite that kind of messiness situation being there, that hanging over the head of this connection, in their part, in their mind, there is still this desire to work it out, work it through, and have some, they are invested in this is the word that I hear. So what's their next actions though? What's coming in the near future? Ace of Swords. So this tells me that they will cut ties with this person, so they're in the process of that. Ace of Swords is a new beginning, is a fresh start, always with an ace, and because it's a sword, so it's like making a cut, yeah, severing a tie. So this is clarity on that, and this is obviously going to bring clarity to the situation for you and him, and this will this is what needs to happen before anything else can happen. I'm going to pull one more card on this. Maybe this has been a long time coming. Is that what it feels like? That there's been issues there. I know that you sort of spoke of in your question about potentially there being a divorce. You know, if that's what you're hearing, I don't know if you get secondhand, you know, hearsay information coming through to you, that this denotes some kind of significant change, fresh start, new beginning, and it comes from severing a tie. Not that one. King of Pentacles. This is them stepping up, I think, getting things sorted in a practical way. So maybe there's practical issues still going on about if there's a separation. Obviously this can affect every area of our lives, yeah, like finances, work, living situations, all of that kind of energy. So I feel like that's what's coming. That's where this Joey's energy is going to be caught up in, is this kind of the practical stuff of separation, of a new beginning. There will be a lot of that going on. Maybe they're in the midst of that now, or like I say, that's what's coming further down the track. So bear that in mind, take that. So they sever the tie, they made that decision. If it was them, if it was their partner, whoever it comes from, that Ace of Swords happens. And then the King of Pentacles energy is all the practical stuff that needs to come from that, okay? And then this is the future about the connection, the Magician. So this is about holding space for that connection. If you still deeply desire this, Lola, if you still want this, this is about saying, yes, it is still possible. The Magician is saying that all the kind of ingredients are here for that. There is still love here between you. There is still, they still think well of you. They still have that part of them that they want to work it out and want to work it through. And the Magician is telling you to focus on what you can do in the meantime, Lola, is focus on the manifestation aspect. If you just remind me, I'm not sure if you practice this or if this is something that you can do, about basically holding space through visualization, through meditation, prayer, journaling, whatever you do to bring in the outcome that you desire. So this is you and them being together in the kind of relationship that you would want, okay, and holding space for that. What would that feel like? What would that look like? Don't get caught up in the how. Forget about the how. That's up to the universe to hold that, to figure out the how. As human beings, we can't have the imagination to access all those different outcomes. We can't have that vision, okay? We're too restricted in that way. But what we can do is imagine how it feels and hold that feeling. Imagine what it would look like. Being on the other side of, say, when you are together, when you're in a committed relationship. So this is very hopeful. And this is saying, if you still have that desire, if you still have that vision, then continue to manifest this. Allow this stuff in the middle, these changes to happen, okay, that are coming. And then we manifest the outcome that we desire and that we want. So Lola, that was your reading. I hope it resonated for you. Please do let me know in the comments if it did, how it did, and please do give me a thumbs up to support the channel. But thank you so much for your question, and I will catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hey Nat, and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your question. This is kind of a follow-on question from your last reading when we saw a stable relationship offer come through for you. So let's dig in deeper to this, okay? And you asked the energy around the future person coming in. Maybe Spirit will tell us more about who this is. Anything else that we need to know about them? And then the second question I'm going to pull is like what you need to focus on in order to bring this about. If anything, you know, does Nat need to focus on, what can she be focusing on to bring this about? And then I like to ask, what is the universe doing to bring this about? It's like a collaboration, yeah? You doing your part, the universe doing their part. And then if there's anything else that we need to ask, after that we can see. But let's have a look at the energy surrounding this future person. Oh, look, the Chariot. Major Arcana. Coming in fast and furious. This is their energy. They are on a chariot, and the chariot energy is someone who doesn't hold back, who has, I think that's the stableness about them as well, is that they don't have doubt. That's also the Chariot. They have this real strong confidence, and that the feeling of what is driving them is from deep down, in a way, is like a knowing. And knowing in a way as well, like not expecting for things to be, you know, in all relationships, that there will be challenges and there will be obstacles, just as life is, okay? And there's bumps in the road, and getting to know someone new and allowing them into your life is the whole thing, yeah? And it's like that they have got this very sort of realistic outlook about that, but knowing that they want to be with you and be together with you is what they are certain about. So anything that kind of bumps in the road, like I say, doesn't really throw them off. It doesn't ever make them doubt about you and this connection. There's just such a determination here, yeah, and such a fearlessness in a way, and about them coming towards you. Which is like a breath of fresh air for someone to have that certainty, and to come in strong and to come in without doubt. Okay, so let's move on now to the second placement, which is if there's anything that you need to be focusing on, working on to allow this person in, sort of, or in the meantime until they come. 8 of Cups. So walking away from people, places, things that no longer serve you, that are emotionally unfulfilling. That's what the 8 of Cups is about. It's about drawing that line in the sand with people where it's not enough, or situations that are not enough, that are maybe now beginning to drain on you, make things holding on to stuff that is too little, really, and trying to get more out of it. Okay? And it's almost making those steps of trusting in abundance, because often I can relate to this really about holding on to what we have, you know, and being fearful to let go of that, because it feels like there won't be anything else to replace that. So it's better to hold on to kind of what we have, even though we know it's not enough. But that can mess up our energy, okay? It can mess up our manifestations and our alignments. And we need to make way for this person coming through, the Chariot energy, someone who is certain, stable, determined, who has a lot to offer. You can see here in a way how vibrant and how alive this energy is, yeah? So let me know if that resonates. About on your part, your job to do is to release and free yourself and not waste your energy on people, places and things that aren't giving you enough, that don't serve you, serve your higher self, feed your soul, give to you, okay? And create space and hold space for this person and kind of expect more. What is the universe doing to help bring this person through, to help you? Lovely. Major Arcana, the Wheel of Fortune. They're ushering in change, luck to be on your side, serendipitous moments of crossing paths. You know, there's a lot of that's involved as well, about you being emotionally being in the right place to set yourself up. Your person being in the right place to when they meet you, you know, that's kind of destiny, fate. There is like a what's the word, like there is the hand of fate has like a say in this situation, okay? So spirit is lining things up for you, and after a period of struggle and effort, of pushing the wheel, you know, upwards, trying to get something going, that's your energy, that's the universe. Like it is sort of cyclical, these kind of energies. And then when it's at the right moment, trusting that the right moment, divine timing is working on this, is setting things up for you behind the scenes. Look at all the activity in this card. You know, there's so much going on. There's like a dragon, there's angels here. Everyone is kind of doing their part and really working hard behind the scenes, that I see, to set this up for you, Nat, okay? And then when the moment is here, then that serendipitous moment, that stroke of luck, when you can cross paths with this person at the right time, and then things will get easier for you. That sense of flow will come in, Things will happen fast with the Chariot energy and the Wheel of Fortune. Things will happen, move pretty quickly when it does come through. And it will, like I say, this trust in the moment and trust in the universe has your back and is helping you out in this way. I love this reading for you, Nat. I hope you do too. Something to hold in mind, something to work on here for you if that resonates. Let me know which parts did resonate, if they did, in the comments. And please do give me a thumbs up to support the channel. But thank you so much for your question, and I will catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hi Sarah, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. So I know we're looking at education here, outcome of courses that you've been taking. So I don't do yes no questions, but we can certainly look at the energy around the outcomes of these exams. I know they're looking to see if you will clear all 3 courses, okay? And this will be released on this reading on the 4th of June, and you've got your results on the 5th. So looking at this just in time for you, Sarah. So let's have a look at the energy around this first, and then we'll see what else, as we dig, what other questions that we can ask to dig into this, okay? The Star, what a beautiful card to see. This is so hopeful for you, Sarah. The Star card is a wish come true, okay? This is something that you have, I imagine, been working on for some time, worked incredibly hard, and your efforts and intentions look to me with this Star card to be paying off here. Like I say, the Star card is a wish come true. So I see that happening, and it almost looks like to me as well, just with this deck, see, it's like all gold stars, almost like in like if we think of it like when we're at school, and if we do something right, then it's like a gold star that we get rewarded with. So I mean, I don't do yes no questions, but if there ever was going to be a kind of yes, then this feels like that energy is surrounding this. It's very hopeful, it looks to be very positive, and I see you getting your wish come true in essence, Sarah, okay? But let's ask the universe what else they would like to say around this, anything else that you need to know. And then we'll also look into future energies just to see what that holds for you around this, okay? Okay, so then we'll be faced with, so this is like a wish come true, okay? And then this is 7 of Cups. This is you with choices to be made maybe after you get the outcome of these exams, of these courses. And you will have some decisions to make. Now, with the 7 of Cups, what it says, Sarah, is that we need to make sure that we're picking the right, making the right choices for ourselves, and not buying into illusions or buying into things that maybe potentially seem too good to be true. So the 7 of Cups is like when, you know, if we get, say, whatever, you may be moving on to next studies or a job, and it's about doing what's really true to our hearts and not doing what we think we should do. Or if we get an offer that comes through that sounds too good to be true, or we kind of want it to work, but we know in our hearts, deep in our hearts, that it's not right for us, we need to be kind of brutally honest with ourselves at this point and make sure that we choose the right cup here and not get overwhelmed, not get blindsided by maybe people's influence as well. Maybe other people have a hand on this and their opinion, their suggestion of what they would like you to do or where they want you to go after this. So make sure that we're not giving into illusions, delusions here, and that we're really making decisions that are best for us, okay? And what is best suited for us, rather than getting caught up in the what we should do, what we kind of want to be true. Let's look at really what is true rather than what we want to be true. So I hope that resonates. Let's have a look at the future now, what that holds for you. Page of Pentacles. So we will settle on the right offer here if we can do this part. Then the Page of Pentacles is this tangible offer that comes through to you. This again, if it's work, studies, the next step will reveal itself to you. This is again sort of working on that period of assessment of making sure that it is right for us, but it looks like we've narrowed it down to this choice and this offer, and it feels good. Being Pentacles, it's grounded in reality, it's earthed, it can also be talk about financial reward. So if this is a job offer, then this can talk, if that's relevant to you, Sarah, then this can talk about money coming through and stability, yeah? So we end up in a good place. We get with the next chapter reveals itself to you, Sarah, here. If we can make this be tough with ourselves in a way and be realistic with ourselves here. But in answer to your original question as well, the chances look positive. The outcome looks good to me from what the cards have said about your courses. But I hope this reading resonated for you. Please let me know in the comments if it did, how it did. And please do drop me a like to support the channel. But thank you so much for your question, and hopefully I will catch up with you soon again. Love and light. Hey Devaya, and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your question. So let's get into it. I know that you are wanting to look at how you can generate income, and if it's a job, like an employed job that you should look for, or if you should pursue your own business. So let's have a look at that. First, I'll pull the card about looking for a job and the energy around that with an employer. Then we'll look at the energy surrounding creating your own business. And then we'll see where that leads you. I'll pull another card, but I want to know kind of where this takes us first and what question it brings up as a follow-up question, okay? So this is the energy around an employer and a job. It is a major arcana, okay, which is interesting. And the Fool card is about, I would say, to continue to pursue this, okay, because the Fool card is about taking risks. So maybe I feel like we need to keep applying, okay? Maybe apply for jobs. I don't know if you're already doing this, kind of outside in different areas maybe that you wouldn't think of. Like, don't restrict yourself in where you apply and what you apply to. Cast a wide net, okay? The Fool is a risk taker. There's also nothing to lose in some respects from applying for jobs, okay, Devaya, and that, like, if you did, you know, you could go through the interview process, and if it doesn't feel right to you, we can still say no, yeah? But the Fool card is about taking risks. It's about not being worried about failure, not being worried about having to be perfect, but just kind of going for it. Like, who knows where it could take you, that kind of energy, okay? It could open up a whole new life for you, okay, depending on what kind of job that you landed. Yeah, you could go in many different directions. Maybe it's that kind of very open energy. The Fool is setting out on a journey. It's the Zero, so it's like the first major arcana. They're setting out on their journey. They're totally open, without any kind of preconceived ideas of how it needs to be, what it needs to be. They've got their little companion here, dog, with them, which is kind of like you're almost like your instinct. I feel like here is where you've got your instinct to guide you, but we're starting from a fresh point and we have nothing to lose. So get out there and see what's out there, take risks, apply. Even if you get that feeling, oh, I'd never get that, I wouldn't get that job, I wouldn't succeed in that, just apply anyway. That's what it feels like. Just apply and go for it, and who knows what will come back. Let's see what the energy is surrounding creating your own business, though. Interesting. Ten of Pentacles. So there's something about creating your own business that I think will also, what this says to me, because Ten of Pentacles is financial abundance, okay? Maybe this is part of the long-term dream, Devaya. So ask yourself that. Is being your own boss, being your own business, maybe this is somewhere where long-term that you would be the happiest and where you would thrive the fullest. Do you have an idea for this new business? Maybe you know what that is already, or maybe we need to explore that, tell what resonates with that. But this feels maybe like the long-term goal. Maybe we do this now. We don't have to give up on your own business, okay, by getting a job now. Maybe that will offer some stability, room for you to breathe. Maybe it will even help you in connecting to your own business in the end. You know, we'll gain skills from this employment. We'll gain contacts from that employment that could in the end help with your own business. And I also think by doing your own business, that long term that you would maybe have the most financial abundance in this area as well. You know, like the limits are kind of off when it comes to your own business of what you can earn, and that you're getting the lion's share of the profit. Often when we're working for an employer, yeah, there's limits of how much that we can earn, that we're working for. In essence, we're always working for someone else, yeah? So they're going to get the lion's share of the financial profit. Doesn't mean that we can't get stuff out of it at certain times in our life, stability, like I say, skills, contacts, all of that good stuff. But if you really want financial unlimited abundance, then there is something about creating your own business that opens that up to you. But I do think there's a kind of timing thing here about this is the long-term goal, and this is maybe the immediate goal is to get some employed work now. Anything else, Spirit? Final messages, final comments on this for Devaya? Anything else that they need to know? Oh, all the cards just dropped out there. So King of Wands, this is you, Devaya, a reminder about who you are. You are a natural born leader, which again maybe makes me think that in your heart of hearts that you are an entrepreneur, and that you are kind of born to lead and set the tone, and that with it being Wands, this is fire energy, so being like a go-getter energy. Yeah, the King of Wands is very fearless in kind of getting out there, and maybe the type of person who doesn't, you know, you're not reserved or shy in a way. Like you can really get out there in the world and sell as well, like that you've got some skills with that, that kind of, that you're good at talking to people. and selling to people, selling an idea, getting the King of Wands is amazing at getting people inspired and getting people on board. So use this skill whenever, wherever you can in your current, in like employment. So if you gain that, and also in this kind of entrepreneurial spirit though, about how that you have this ability to inspire others, that somehow this is connected. This is an energy that you need to tap into to achieve what you where you want to go, really, Devaya, and what you want to achieve. It's a reminder really from Spirit about who you are. Exciting reading, positive reading. I hope it did resonate for you. Let me know if it did, how it did in the comments. Please do give me a like as well, Devaya, just to support the channel. But thank you so much for your question, and I will catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hey Sunsiis, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your question. So let's get into it. I know you want to have a look at the energy around this job offer that I understand was initially rejected, but now a candidate has dropped out. It's come back around for you, which is interesting. So let's get into this and see what Spirit has to say about the energy around this. I know you ask, is it a good bet for me? So let's start there and then see with that, where that leads us, okay? So Spirit, is this job offer a good bet for Sunsiis? Interesting. 9 of Cups. So the 9 of Cups does talk about emotional fulfillment and satisfaction. Okay, like we see here, this card's come up quite a lot actually throughout all these readings today, and it reads different every time. And to me, what comes up is this sense of contentment. We see this person here that is comfortable. Okay, they've got their arms crossed, but it's in this kind of satisfied way, and they sit before 9 cups. So in answer to your question, yes, this does look to be a good bet for you and will bring peace, satisfaction, contentment. Lots of good stuff. Okay, so if you've had upheaval, difficulties, or kind of stress in a way surrounding jobs, maybe what a job that you're wanting to leave, or I don't know your position at the moment. But this job offer, initial thoughts on this, initial energies around this are positive, Sunsiis. Tell me more, Spirit. Tell me more. Funny how these things come back around, isn't it, when we get a no. There we go as well. Knight of Cups, lots of cups. Okay, so this is fulfillment energy. It's connected to our emotions. Yeah, so even though this is a job, even though this is practical, this is about money, there's something about it. So I don't know the nature of the job, but there's some kind of deeper emotional satisfaction to be gained from this. So here is this offer coming back round. It is a genuine offer. It's come round in a kind of backwards way. Like what I think is as well, don't let that first rejection put you off or cast a shadow over this, okay? That's almost just the chaos of life, the lottery of life. The roll of the dice, if you think, there is an element always, I believe in, of kind of fate, luck, chance, and this has come back round for you. And don't let that the way that it's come round for you doesn't matter. It's come to you. It is a genuine offer again. Cups, satisfaction. We don't have to say yes to it. If you have got a better offer that feels more aligned with you, or, you know, your intuition is your best and final guide at the end of the day. But from what the cards say, with both these cards coming through, this is good energy, okay? This is nice. This is peaceful almost. I just keep hearing that. It's like this satisfied, peaceful energy. Maybe it's somewhere that you could be for a long time. It's almost like that you can, there's part of you that maybe has felt like you couldn't settle anywhere, and that there's something about this job that maybe when you're in it and you're doing it, that it brings you some kind of like that maybe you could be there for some time, and it would check this box off for you, so that the weight of that worry about where am I going to go, what am I going to do with job and career sometimes can be a burden for many if you can't find where you're meant to be, you know, if you can't find your spot. And there's something about this offer that will check a box off for you. Let's have a look at the future energies. So if you say yes to this job, you know, we've seen the energies surrounding it, but I do want to get a glimpse into the future to preempt this. Ooh, look at that. That's too many cards, Spirit. Let's try that again. Oh, lovely. Look at all this. Wow. Look at the future of this, Sunsiis. The Emperor. So the Emperor is one of the most powerful cards in the deck, okay? It's the boss energy of the deck. So I'm wondering if this, I don't know if it is a management position, or if this could, you know, once you get into this role, that there's place for progression, there's a place for leveling up. Or this may just be part of your journey, okay? So if it isn't possible in this company, then it will be a stepping stone towards the future, basically, of this job, is you embodying your Emperor energy. So becoming a boss of sorts, okay? Be that just in your skills, but it's about being very efficient, in control of the situation, managing a team, being a position of authority. For sure, somewhere down the future path, Sunsiis, is possible for you. And the Emperor is very good at being a boss, okay? That there's someone who is comfortable with power and uses power well, because there are, of course, a lot of toxic managers and bosses out there, okay, who can't handle power, who don't use it well, who can't lead by example, or, you know, are not very good with people, don't understand them, okay, and how to get the best out of them. But this tells me that you have that ability, Sunsiis. Maybe it's something that you've done in the past, that you know this about yourself. But this is a significant, it feels like ahead of you is a place for you to grow and become this Emperor energy, okay? And that you are someone who knows how, like I say, knows how to deal and handle power, and is good with people and good at managing teams, making maybe quite stressful decisions, and being able to hold space and be someone who people can come to for reassurance and know that you'll handle it, you know, you'll do the right thing, you'll make the right decision. So what an interesting reading. I hope it resonated for you. Loads of good stuff here. I feel like it's a yes, yes, yes from the universe. Like I say, your intuition is your best guide, but the universe says that this is a genuine and true opportunity that has a lot of potential to take you to some great places, okay? So let me know if this resonated, how it resonated in the comments, Sunsiis. Please do give me a thumbs up just to support the channel. But thank you so much for your question, and I will catch up with you soon. So much love and light. Take care.